Okay, following from removing the old bearings, I'm going to put the new bearings into this wheel. What I've done in between times is just cleaned out any corrosion that was in the bearing seat. As you can see in here, there's a lip down in the bearing seat, so what I'm going to need to do is drive the bearing in until it sits up against that lip. I've propped the wheel on two pieces of wood so that I don't damage it as I'm hammering the new bearing in, especially these posts, which is what I think's bent on the other one, possibly doing this job. That's why I'm replacing the wheel. The important thing when you're putting new bearings in is that you only hammer against the outer race of the bearing. You don't hammer in this middle bit under that seal the ball bearings are, and you don't hammer on the inner race, which will damage the bearing. They're a tight fit. I've had the new bearings in the freezer, which just makes them shrink very slightly, but they are still extremely tight to fit in there. I usually use the old bearing to drift the new one in, so you just very gently start tapping around the edges in a circular fashion. You want it going in just a little bit at a time. Started to seat in there. I've actually got this handy metal block, which is very useful for it. And you can see I've managed to get it off square there, so I need to get this side in. It's in at an angle there. You can hear it when it goes in smoothly. It's all moving. Still going. So that's it, flush with the surface of the wheel, so I can't use that block anymore. I'm not entirely sure where my socket set is that's big enough, so what I'm just going to do is use a punch and just work my way around. We're getting there. It's going to take me a while to do this. Sounding like it's nearly home now. A different texture to the noise. I'll just have a look through there. Just about in. And you can hear that's a different sound. dust seal back in as well. It's in a very similar way, but because it's more flexible, it's not quite so fussy. I'm reusing the old dust seals because they're sealed bearings. They're not really doing anything particularly important other than hold the wheel spacer in when I'm reassembling it. So now I have the other side. Mustn't forget to put the spacer in the middle. And another new bearing. Okay, that's not going to fit, so just need to use the old one. That's starting to go in now. Smaller hammer might be handy. Be careful to not hammer it in too far using the old bearing, otherwise you can't get it back out again, which causes all manner of difficulties. And that sounded very like it was seated. So I'll just make sure the central spacer's squared up. Yep, that's in. You can tell when it's in because the spacer in the middle moves tight up against the inner races of the bearings. So that's in. What I'm going to do on this side is just put a wee smear of copper grease in there because it corroded a bit last time. So just round where the speedo drive goes. It's normally a good idea to keep copper grease away from bearings because it's likely abrasive. Because these are sealed bearings, it doesn't really matter. All this is for is just to stop any corrosion round where that speedo drive sits. Okay, and we've got the speedo drive. And we've got the dust seal, which in this side pretty much just holds the speedo drive in. Again, that's not taking much fitting at all. And there we have it. Bearings both sides, dust seals fitted. Job's a good one.